Hi, Bulldogs. We meet again. In case you haven't met me before, my name is Brenda, and I'm currently an intern from NMSU working with your guidance team. And today, what I really want to ask is how important is technology? And is it more important than our mental health? Like, I understand that we're using a lot of technology right now, but is it the number one priority all the time? And how can we set priorities throughout the day to kind of help us out, have the best of both worlds, and kind of like set a day schedule of like, when does a bell ring? When is it like switching class time? You know what I mean? And how that can affect how we're going through our days. I do want to disclose though that I'm not a professional yet. These are aspects that I have done some research on and have also looked back on what has helped me. Do understand that we all are different, we all learn differently. So if this isn't something that works for you, figure out something that works better for you. If it helps you being in a warmer room versus a colder room, these are just suggestions that I believe can work. But like I said, do what best works for you. Adapt to your own self because you are the one that knows how you learn best. So that way we can have the best of both worlds of mental health, having a healthy mental health, and also having to work with technology almost 24/7. So yeah, let's see what we can figure out.
All right, so how important is technology? And is it more important than our mental health, or is it the number one priority all the time? Well, technology in itself, of course, is very important. Without technology, technology. Without technology, we wouldn't be able to really go to school right now. There would be no remote learning, but there would also be no planes to fly. There would also be no stores. Like, how would the stores function without cash? Banks as well. Like, how would you look up any kind of information? Technology is basically just all around us. But notice the word priority, though, in that third question. Is technology a priority over mental health? Well, mental health has been around longer than technology, but what can we do to have the best of both worlds? Well, we can definitely have some self discipline. We can understand where we have our strengths and where we have our boundaries. So, keeping track of your responsibilities, keeping yourself accountable to what you promise yourself, and you will always be your number one priority. Remember that. I know there's a saying that says, you need fuel to run a car. You put that gas in the car to make it run, but you also need a car in the first place to put that fuel in. So think of technology as that fuel, but you're the car. Okay, so you need yourself first. You need to put yourself first. How can we set up our priorities or intentions for the day? So, how can we put together the world of technology and the world of mental health put together? These are some things that I do that do help me. So first thing is breaking those habits. So noticing how you're spending your time is the first thing. Notice whenever you're bored or whenever you don't have really much motivation, the first thing we all usually do is check social media. So, refraining from that and probably replacing it with checking your email or checking Canvas, checking the to do list on Canvas to see if there's any upcoming assignments that are due, like today, tomorrow, or even the next day. The more you practice this, the easier it is, I promise. The more you keep noticing, oh, I'm on my phone right now because I'm bored. You can easily go to your email, go to your LCPS email, and check that as well. Next is set up your study environment. It is proven that if you sit on a comfy area, so like your bed or your couch, there's a big probability that you're not going to get a lot of work done. So sitting at a table will probably be best. Turning up the lights that way you're able to see everything, and turning up the AC that way you're not comfortable and warm, but yet you're more alert. And having those materials in arm's reach, but not only materials, but have like a little snack close by, or have a water bottle close by. An important part of a student's day is when does a bell ring for lunch? So during the slide, we're going to learn about setting up some intentions, setting up a schedule, and kind of getting familiarized again with how it felt to go from one subject to another. So first, setting up some intentions for the day. You want to be realistic about setting your goals and expectations of yourself. You don't want to give up too easily, and you don't want to make things too simple as well. So in this example for today's intentions, I have make a list of assignments that are due soon. You can easily go to Canvas, look up the to do list, and see what's up. Get at least three things off the list. Okay, seems pretty doable. Really notice how I spend my time. So, am I like on my phone during class or am I really paying attention? Checking my email and setting my alarms to switch subjects. So, going along with that, setting up your schedule. Something that I find a little helpful for me is setting up those alarms like a school bell. For NMSU, we don't have bells, but I remember for high school hearing those bells and just getting excited to run out to my car and get out of campus as fast as I could. You know, just getting those memories of the bell. Really give yourself those 15 minutes between classes, between Zooms, between studying for this class versus this class. You have to take a break because going through the motions of like, okay, I went to science class, now I'm gonna go to math class, and I'm gonna take those 15 minutes between to talk to my friends, go to the restroom, fill up my water bottle, something like that. Stretch your legs and use this time wisely and to your advantage. Speaking of time, during lunch, it may be beneficial for you to take a power nap. Power naps usually last between 10 to 15 minutes. Anything longer than 20 minutes, you fall into what's called REM sleep, and it's a little harder for you to get back up feeling a little groggy. Between 10 and 15 minutes, it kind of gives you like a little recharge for the rest of your day. You can also eat lunch with your friends virtually. I know eating in a table like here with your friends is something that we would usually do, but now with all the restrictions that we have, virtually is what we can get as close. You know what I mean? We can all meet up with each other virtually and have a nice lunch. Do some journal writing. Explore those emotions that you're feeling. Express yourself on paper, and what I usually like to do is kind of just flip the page. You don't have to reread it, you don't have to go back at it, you just have to keep on going forward. Or go on a short walk, or do some yoga, or do some mindfulness exercises. And how can we transition from school life to home life, especially when now those two are pretty much in the same environment? Something that is helpful that may sound a little silly or not, it may sound not as common as you think, is just a short meditation. The link to this video will definitely be down this in the description, but it's just 5 minutes, literally just 5 minutes of you sitting and or gazing and closing your eyes, just getting yourself gathered up with those thoughts, those last minute thoughts from school and from assignments, and putting it away for the day. There's only so much of school that someone can take. There's only so much of work someone can take in a day. You do have to have some time for yourself, for your home life, or anything else that gives you a peace of mind. Where did I find these resources? Yep, you guessed it. The Counselor's Corner. And then I also got some help from this book as well.
Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching this video to completion. Just to kind of summarize what we learned today, we learned that technology is important and it's around us all the time, but we also need to keep our priority to ourselves, our own mental health. We need the car itself to put gas in, like I said. We also have to keep ourselves accountable and keep ourselves disciplined and stick to what our goals are going to be and how we spend our time. We also learned how to set up intentions for the day, how to set up a schedule, kind of like get that little flow of what works best for you. And also that closing out a day only takes about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, depending on what you feel and what works for you. Meditation is great. I highly suggest it, but that's not the only thing you can do. You can also go out for a run. You can also walk your dog, something that closes out your day and kind of gets you away from that space. So I will leave the description to that meditation video below, as well as other resources. You can also go to the Las Cruces High School website under Counselor's Corner resources, and there's also some mindfulness exercises. Speaking of mindfulness exercises, for the future, we're working on having a mindfulness meditation during lunch hour, probably once a week. Kind of just to de-stress for a little bit, a little 10-minute mindfulness exercise. So just keep that in mind. If that's something that interests you, I do highly suggest it, and it will be me via Zoom, as well as Mr. Theran. So if you would like to join us, and of course we'll send out information as it comes out. See you next time.